The camera cuts to the entrance of the courtroom. A heavy wooden door creaks open, and a young woman struts in as if she owns the place. She's not nervous, not humble, quite the opposite. A wide grin spreads across her face, and she tosses her hair back with confidence, almost daring anyone to challenge her. To her, this isn't a courtroom, it's a stage, and she's the star of the show. She glances around the room, her smirk growing as she notices the spectators. Some shuffle papers, others whisper among themselves. But she stands tall, clearly believing that this entire process is beneath her. The clerk gestures for her to approach the podium, but instead of walking with respect, she almost dances forward, swaying her hips as though this were some casual event. The judge, seated high above, observes quietly. His face is calm, but his eyes are sharp, studying every movement, every careless shrug, every mocking grin. He's seen people like her before. Defendants who think they can charm, laugh, or bluff their way out of accountability. Defendants who mistake arrogance for confidence. Defendants who believe the law won't touch them. When the charges are read aloud, the young woman hardly reacts. She leans on the podium with one arm, tilting her head like she's bored. She even giggles at one point, shaking her head as though the accusations are a joke. To her, this is all one big misunderstanding, and she's convinced that in a few minutes, she'll walk out smiling just as she walked in. But then, the judge clears his throat. His voice is steady, measured, and carries the full weight of authority. "Ma'am," he begins, "this is not a joke. You are standing in a courtroom. These are not games. These are not suggestions. These are laws." The laughter in her eyes dims ever so slightly, but she quickly forces her smirk back into place. She thinks she can outlast him, that her nonchalant attitude will protect her. But the judge is far from finished. He begins to outline the severity of the charges. Each word is deliberate, echoing across the silent room. He explains the consequences she faces, the penalties that could follow, and the stark reality of what her future may hold if she continues down this path. As he speaks, the camera zooms in on her face. The smirk begins to waver. Her eyes dart to the side, then back to the judge. She fidgets with her hands, her confidence slowly slipping. What was once arrogance is turning into unease. For the first time, she realizes that this isn't her show. This is his courtroom. The judge doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. His calm firmness is more powerful than any shouting could be. He looks her directly in the eye and says, "You may think you are above the law, but let me assure you, you are not. You will face the consequences of your choices, and if you continue to treat this process with disrespect, those consequences will only grow heavier." The room is silent. The young woman swallows hard. She opens her mouth to respond, but no words come out. The smirk is gone. The smugness is gone. In its place is the face of someone who has finally realized the gravity of their situation. By the time the gavel strikes, the transformation is complete. The arrogant, smiling defendant who walked into the courtroom now stands subdued, her head lowered, her future uncertain. What she thought would be a stage for her ego became a lesson in humility. The courtroom doesn't clap, doesn't cheer. It doesn't have to. Everyone knows what they just witnessed. Entitlement shattered, arrogance dismantled, and reality delivered by the firm hand of justice.